This is problem number 5 from section 4.7. In this problem they say solve this polynomial inequality. So the first step we're going to take is to replace the inequality sign with an equal sign. And then we're going to solve that equation that we get for the roots. All right, now let's solve this equation for the roots, which means set this equation equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 24x over. I get 5x cubed minus 14x squared minus 24x equals 0. Now I'm going to do some factoring here, so I think I can factor out an x from each term. So I'll end up with x and then 5x squared minus 14x minus 24 equals 0. Zero product property here. So x equals 0, or 5x squared minus 14x minus 24 equals 0. Now this doesn't look too fun to factor really, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the quadratic equation. So we remember the quadratic formula as negative b plus or minus, so on and so forth. So we're going to have negative, so we're going to say x equals negative 14, which is the b part, plus and minus root negative 14 squared minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is negative 24, all over 2 times 5. So x is going to equal, and I'm going to plug all that in the calculator, at least as much as I can. So negative 14, we're going to square it. Better put parentheses there because you'll mess your answer up if you don't. All right, negative 14 squared minus 4 times 5 times negative 24. 676. I'm going to do the square root of that number because 676 is in here. I get 26. So now I have 14 plus and minus 26 over 10. So my options here are x is going to equal 14 plus 26, which is 40 over 10, which is 4, or 14 minus 26, so 14 minus 26, negative 12, so x equal negative 12 over 10, which reduces to negative divided by 2, 6 over 5. So my options for, or my roots, are 0, 4, negative 6 over 5. So now I just need to draw a number line. So let's go ahead and draw the number line. Put the smallest one first, which is negative 6 over 5. Then let's pick 0 and 4. So I'm going to pick a number to the left of negative 6 over 5. Well, negative 6 over 5 is negative 1.2. So I'm going to pick negative, let's just do negative 5 here. I'll pick negative 1 because this is smaller than negative 1. So negative 1 here is between these two. I'm going to pick 1 because 1 is between 0 and 4. And then I'm going to pick 5 because 5 is to the right of 4. And now I'm going to use my calculator to do most of this work. So we're going to store negative 5, stored as x, type in this equation, and I'm going to use this one that's equal to 0. So we're going to say, well, I'm going to use, if we put the inequality sign, so if we just subtract 24x over, I'm going to write this up above. We're going to use 5x cubed minus 14x squared. When I subtract 24x over, I get minus 24x less than or equal to 0. So we're going to use this version of the equation. It makes it easier. So that's what I'm going to type in. 5x cubed minus 14x squared minus 24, and that's a 24, not a 29. It's close. At the top. And I get negative 855. So it says less than or equal to 0. So negative 855 is less than or equal to 0. So there are solutions in this area. So I need to put a bracket here. And this would be like negative infinity up to that point. Now let's do negative 1. And we use a different color just to kind of make sure that the bracket looks different. There we go. Negative 1 stored as x. I get 5. 5 is not less than or equal to 0, so this area does not work. So now I'm going to use 1 stored as x. Negative 33 is less than or equal to 0. So this area will work, and because it says equal to, I'm going to go from root to root. And finally, we're going to do 5 stored as x. And that's a positive number, which is not less than or equal to 0. So this area doesn't work. So my solutions go from negative infinity to negative 6 over 5, and they include negative 6 over 5, union 0 to 4. So those are the solutions to this polynomial inequality.